Hi, I'm Mark Neighbour, and we've got a pair of blocks here that we'll be deconstructing to see what makes them tick. Okay, the block flats here are really nice. They're lovely to handle. They've got a nice soft lining in them. One thing I don't like about them though is that on the ties, the elastic ties around the front here, is that there's no end on the elastic, which I think makes them look a little bit cheap. But that really is the only cheap looking thing about them. When you untie this, I've realised is that the little band that the elastic goes through is actually a separate band. In sewing it's called a French bind because the stitching isn't actually on top of the band. It gets it's ditch stitched down into the hollow here, which means that you get no top stitching. But it does mean that because it is a separate band, you have this little line here that you can see where that that leather goes inside the top of the shoe. So pull that back there, and you can see the little pad there. Actually, it's a lot lighter than I thought, but this is why Bloch are one of the most popular and most comfortable ballet flats on the market. So we're pulling apart the bind some more here to take the elastic out, and I've noticed that this whole bind all the way around the top of the foot is one continuous piece of leather, which isn't important, but it's a nice feature, and it means that you don't have a join at the centre back here, so it's not you know, doesn't go lumpy around the back of your heel. Tape, so they've actually glued a piece of tape onto the leather before they've sewn it onto the top of the shoe and folded it to the inside and glued it down in place. That's what the elastic goes into, and that stops this top edge from stretching because we've got the tape holding it in place. So I've snipped open the front here. I gave one little snip and the leather automatically started to rip, which just goes to show what a nice fine leather it is. So I thought if I just give this more of a pull, there we go, just ripped open the toe of the shoe to reveal a little layer here, a shaped layer of canvas which is glued on to the lining, and there's a little layer. It's actually really sticky, so I'm thinking that that's probably the layer of something that they've used to glue this piece of fabric onto the lining, and it gives it some stability, and it means that the toes, you know, like that you don't see the shapes of your toes sticking out the front of your ballet flat, especially under like such soft leather, because the lining's soft and the outer is very soft. Okay, so we've pulled apart the back here, and we found that there's a layer of the foam and then a layer of cardboard in there. The cardboard goes through to the front as well, and this is that layer of cotton that's moulded around, and we've wet the cardboard in there to see, and you can see that it pulls apart, but you know, if shoes are going to get wet, the lining's going to be ruined anyway, and it's, you know, it's a good 2mm thickness of leather there, of cardboard there, and they've also put these slashes in there as well, because that's where your foot bends, and you can see that opens up underneath the underneath your foot as you move. But there's a lot of work in here. I mean, they're quite lovely shoes. Leather's, you know, great quality, and even though there's lots of glue used, you know, like there's lots of glue used in shoes anyway. It's just how the layers are held together. So yeah, there's our little block. What's left of our Bloch ballerina flat. A very nice shoe. Good work, Bloch.